Good afternoon. Welcome to the NC GreenPower Solar Schools presentation, where I, Katie, the Marketing Communications Director, hope to answer all of your questions about our grant program. First, I'll go over our mission statement. Our mission is to expand public knowledge and acceptance of cleaner energy technologies to all North Carolinians through community-based initiatives. And I will point out that all of our products are local. So some of the technologies we utilize are renewable energy, carbon offsets, and of course our Solar Plus Schools grant program. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We are the first, and as far as I know, still the only independent nonprofit green power program that operates across the entire state. I think just about every state has a green power program. Some of them are run by a utility. Some of them are run by a for-profit or a nonprofit organization, but ours in North Carolina is unique because NC GreenPower covers all the utilities across our state. And because of that partnership, anyone can donate through their utility bill. They can contribute to renewable energy or carbon offset products. The renewable energy donation is currently being split, so half of that contribution will also go to support our Solar Plus Schools grant. And of course, contributions are accepted on our website. And as I mentioned before, everything we do is in North Carolina. All of the solar energy, if we have a wind product or a landfill methane capture project, carbon offsets could include landfill methane or hog waste lagoon capture. And of course, all of the schools that we accept in our grant program are local to our state. So now I'll jump in to talk about the Solar Plus Schools grant. We launched it as a pilot in 2015. We were accepting up to 5 schools each year during the pilot phase. The official Solar Plus Schools program was approved in 2019. We have oversight by the North Carolina Utilities Commission, so we're very pleased to see them accept our program. The plus indicates that we hope in the future to do more than solar. So it could be a wind project, it could be battery storage, it could be at organizations that aren't schools. We're looking into what that potentially could be once we get this initial phase of the program completed. So all North Carolina K through 12 schools are eligible. It could be elementary, middle, high, or a combination of those. Any public or private school, including magnet and charter. And the application will open every year on January 2nd, and it'll close on the last day of February. What's included would be up until this past year, we only were installing the pole-mounted array that you see there. It has 12 panels. We were fortunate that we have now been approved to offer rooftop installations. So for our 2020 schools who raised money last year, I think we will have 3 to 4 of them that will utilize either a roof or an awning mount. So that'll be really fun to have that addition to our program. And each installation has permanent signage to recognize any corporate donors or contributors to the program, to that individual school's fundraising campaign. So that's a great opportunity for local businesses to be able to get their recognition. The size of the system is about 5.22 kilowatts. To put that in perspective, that's roughly half of the amount that a typical home would need to cover 100% of their power. So we'd like to tell schools that it's powering roughly the equivalent to the school's office. The systems come with a full weather station as well as some data monitoring equipment. So this is a photo of some of the attachments on the system as well as the inverter there on the right. And this is what the online portal might look like. This is one from Cove Creek Elementary School in the mountains. The school, as well as anybody, so this is publicly displayed, anybody would be able to utilize the data. The schools will have some extra access where they can download the data in an Excel file, but to the public, they see this interface. It'll show how much power it's producing, either that day or over time. You can see the energy savings, the carbon dioxide mitigation, as well as the current and future weather. We also provide teacher training. So this is conducted by the National Education and Energy Development Project, or NEED. They provide the curriculum for us. It is created with state standards in mind, so it meets all the North Carolina state standards that are applicable. We will ship each school a solar energy kit, the hands-on activities that, like you see down at the bottom of the screen here. Teachers will receive a 6-hour training so that they can utilize the curriculum and know how to best integrate that into their studies. We will also say that currently, since our 2020 training was canceled due to COVID, the teacher training for this upcoming year, we're currently working on a virtual training. So that will be something that the teachers may gather at their own school in a safe manner, and we'll conduct the training virtually. That may not be the case next year, we don't know, but we are certainly being flexible and still providing that very important educational piece to our teachers. It's almost a full day. It's 6 hours. We request that 3 to 5 teachers be sent from each school. So it's a wonderful opportunity for the teachers to get out, learn from one another, conduct new experiments. In this case, we were able to get out and enjoy the sunshine. These are some photos of the dedication events that we've had at past schools. So it's a wonderful opportunity for the community to get engaged, for the students to see what they were a part of, and for there really to be a nice event to showcase the positive aspects of both the installation and the successful fundraising. Here's another example. And the school was really great. The student there shown in the middle, cutting the ribbon. He was really one of the students that got this program started. He helped apply for the grant, and he actually changed his career because of this. He was able to get certification from both the community college that Edgecombe Early College lives on, as well as work with the Center for Energy Education for some additional certifications that he achieved while still being a high school student. Here's another one that had to be moved indoors due to weather, so we're always pretty flexible. And this showcases the Athens Drive Magnet High School installation. We just did a time-lapse video to show this. So Athens Drive's in a unique position because they also have a public library on their campus. This particular project was completely spearheaded by students. They have a really wonderful, very engaged STEM student group, and they've been able to produce multiple videos about the project to showcase both to other students and to the community. This map shows all of the schools that we have installed so far. In 2017, we were fortunate that we received additional funding through a Duke Energy settlement. So there were 8 schools that were awarded installations they had to be Duke Energy customers. So those schools are included. But besides that, we've installed at 5 schools per year. The 2020 year was the first year that it was not a pilot. It was an official part of our program. So you'll see 10 schools that will be getting installations this year. So they fundraised last year, and we are hoping to award up to 15 this year. How do you apply? Visit our website before February 28th. You can go to the Solar Plus Schools pages. There are 2 documents we recommend that you download. One is additional grant information that should answer all of your questions about the grant, and then you can preview the application questions before you start the Google form. So you will not be able to edit your answers once you submit, so we do recommend that you go ahead and have your answers prepared so that you can enter those in the Google form as you go through the application. We also highly recommend that you get approval from anyone with your school who needs to provide their blessing on the application. That could be a principal, a superintendent, perhaps Board of Education. For example, the Athens Drive High School needed to go through the Wake County Public School System Board to get multiple signatures for approval before they were able to sign our contract. In addition, we've had some towns and counties, we were unaware that they did not allow the installation of solar. So we had to get a variance or approval from their town or county to get that installation completed. So we do highly recommend that you at least look into that prior to submitting your application, or that you come prepared with that if you are accepted, but at that time you have investigated that. That'll certainly help things go a lot smoother and allow you to begin your fundraising as early as possible. Finally, you can submit your application through Google Forms. I have it set where it automatically will send you your answers, and then I reply in addition to that within the next business day usually to confirm that we received your application. Schools are selected based on a number of factors. We have a group of volunteers from our board of directors that forms a committee to review applications. They look at a number of things: the motivation of the school to integrate renewable energy into their curriculum, the support of sustainability with the school's mission or with the school's activities. It could be an environmental club or some things that the school has done on their campus. We also look at the economic need of the school and their attendees. So the purpose of our program is to help schools who otherwise would not be able to have afforded the system. So that's definitely something that's important to us, but we encourage schools from all economic levels to apply. The board is also looking for geographic diversity. So when possible, we like to accept counties into our program that we've not accepted before. However, that's not always possible. It'll depend on the number of applications that are received. It'll depend on the quality of those applications. So if you see that your county has already been selected for a school, don't let that deter you from submitting your application. We have quite a few counties where we have more than one system that has been awarded. And schools will need to raise a bit of money. So in the pilot phase, NC GreenPower had a fixed amount that we only gave $10,000, and the State Employees Credit Union chipped in between 10 and 15. The school was then responsible for the balance. Well, we found that to be very difficult because they oftentimes wouldn't know the amount until halfway through their fundraiser. So using the environmental finance department at UNC, we determined that these fixed amounts were very reasonable according to the cost of the system. And this still allows for NC GreenPower to be able to continue to provide this grant. So for this year, schools will be given a fixed fundraising goal based on some economic values. You can find the Excel spreadsheet that shows a calculator on our website, or if you have trouble reaching it, you can always email me and ask. So schools can find the amount that they'll need to raise before they apply, and we will also let you know, should you be awarded, exactly what that amount is. It'll either be $6,000, $9,000, or $12,000. And here are some examples. School in a Tier 1 county, which is the 40 most economically distressed counties in North Carolina, say they have 85% free and reduced lunch students and 60% economically disadvantaged students. Their goal will be $6,000. The next tier county, say it's a 50% free and reduced and economically disadvantaged, their goal will be $9,000. And finally, a Tier 3 county who has a school with less needy students, those with a lower economically disadvantaged level, their goal will be $12,000. And I will point out that each school will receive a refund in the amount of $2,500 to hold in an operations and maintenance fund once the system is completed. So the schools will receive a bit of this back to keep in a reserve account to ensure you have money should you need it. And I will add that none of our schools since 2015 have had to use this funding. Each system comes with a 5-year warranty from the installer, and we also stay in touch with the school should there be any issues to be sure that those are fixed prior to the expiration of that warranty. For the fundraising, NC GreenPower provides this wonderful tool. It's based off of Classy. That is an organization that allows us to create peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns very easily. They're easily shared on social media. We used it for the first time last year, and I found it to be just a wonderful integration tool. This is the homepage of it. You can go there now. If you go to myncgreenpower.org, it'll forward to this page. The schools were able to raise, even during the pandemic, more than what they needed. We were extremely proud of their success. It was not easy going for some of the schools at the beginning, but we were able to have utility groups and corporate sponsors come in at the last minute and be sure all of our schools were successful. So here are all the 10 schools. As I mentioned, there are very easy ways to share these campaigns. One of our schools even started a sub-campaign. So there can be one campaign for your school, and then an individual group, a class, a PTA group, athletic group, anybody can create a sub-campaign and raise money on the school's behalf. So for example, they could have a smaller goal, maybe $200, and that classroom or that group can then help raise money for the team. They also are ways for you to thank the donors immediately after they donate. So it's kind of like Facebook. You can make a comment on their donation. So I found that kind of interaction really helped to encourage more donations from the community. Schools use a variety of methods. We have a summary of those methods. And so once you are approved and you have been given the grant, we have a fundraising toolkit package that we send you so that you're not alone in figuring out how in the world do you raise your money. We've used tips and tricks from all of our schools all the way back to 2015 Some use email, some focus on corporate sponsors. They've all done many different methods, so we've found that all of those tips and tricks have been very successful and helpful. The value of the package we estimate at almost $42,000. So last year, construction costs averaged about $27,700. We include the need training and curriculum. We have donated sun power modules, which are some of the highest efficiency modules on the market. They're commercial grade and they're expected to last 20 to 30 years. We also include all of the engineering and project management. There is some energy savings that the school will receive. We estimate that to be between $700 to $800 per year. And then there's some other various expenses that we cover, such as permanent signage and things. So the total value of the package, as I mentioned, is almost $42,000. There is an additional funding mechanism that we use. The State Employees Credit Union Foundation has been a partner since the beginning of the pilot. So now that the schools have fixed fundraising amounts, this amount does not affect your goal, but it does allow NC GreenPower to support more schools in the future. So they will select a full of up to 5 public schools to receive an additional grant. What that'll do is give you some additional recognition through the Credit Union Foundation, and NC GreenPower donors will grant the full remainder of the funds for the project. We estimate that to be roughly $27,000. Finally, I wanted to share some of our social media campaigns with you, social media channels with you. We are rated on Charity Navigator, GuideStar, and Great Nonprofits. We really appreciate all of our partners who have supported NC GreenPower so far and helped the Solar Plus Schools program be as successful as it is today. If you think of any questions that you have, please feel free to reach out. Thank you again for attending our webinar.